right, and live from the Kenyatta University Communication Center, you are just in time for the Saturday edition of the KUTV Weekend Live. And of course, we've been up and about compiling for you reports on matters making waves across the country and also beyond our borders, particularly on this third day of the year 2026, where we happen to be living in interesting times, even as a sitting president was captured and is facing prosecution in the United States. That is Venezuelan president who was captured today in the morning by United States forces. Interesting times, but let's get into the highlights and also get the gist of what you are to expect. Parents struggle as back to school costs soar nationwide.
Hali ni ngumu kwa sababu lazima tutafute uniform, tutafute vitabu. So kungangana tu, tuone kama tutapata zote. Serikali.
Court detains Mombasa journalists as investigations continue.
As Media Council of Kenya, one thing is clear for us: we have to protect media freedom. Maseke is not a flight risk.
Tunataka tuseme hivi kwamba swala la uhalifu hapa Mombasa hatutalinyamazia.
Herbalists push for fast tracking of traditional medicine law.
Constitution 2010, we at the culture level, we are allowed to learn from our own, because our indigenous knowledge is disappearing.
And in the international scene, United States claims capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as airstrikes plunge Venezuela. All right, welcome to the Weekend Live. My name is Emanuel Kutosi, and with me in the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mwongeli. Now, as schools prepare to reopen, the annual back-to-school rush is laying bare the financial strain on households, with the soaring prices of uniforms, textbooks, and learning materials pushing many parents to the brink. Traders are now reporting slow sales, while education stakeholders renew calls for urgent government intervention to cushion families from the rising cost of education.
As school calls towards reopening, many parents are feeling the pinch from expensive uniforms, books and learning materials, while shop owners struggle to make profits, prompting calls for government action to reduce back-to-school costs. Jane Mudhoni, a parent in Mombasa County, says the rising cost of textbooks, uniforms and school fees has overwhelmed families, noting that the current education system demands many learning materials.
Hali ni ngumu kwa sababu lazima tutafute uniform, tutafute vitabu. So kungangana tu, tuone kama tutapata zote. Serikali pia inafaa kutuangalia ile pande ya tax, ndio wakipunguza pia sisi tutapata relief kidogo, tuweze kupata kila kitu yenye tunahitajika. Mahitaji ya shule siku hizi iko nyingi sana.
Another parent, Ibrahim Hami, says the high cost of textbooks and uniforms is forcing him to make difficult choices, buying only what he can afford, while appealing to teachers for understanding.
Elimu ni lazima. Hata kama wakishasoma kufika huko mbele hakuna makazi, lakini uko ndo ujinga ile vizuri. Kwa hivyo ni hivyo. Vitabu tutakwenda angalia hapo ndani tujue ile bei ambayo itakuwa iko. Kama itawezekana sawa, kama sivyo tutapunguza vile vya muhimu, vingine tutafuata baadaye. Bora walimu watuelewe, sisi wazazi kama tuna challenge kubwa. Kwa sababu kama nyumba moja uko na kama watoto 4 wote wana mahitaji ya shule, sio chini ya 25,000 kila mmoja. Hiyo ni laki.
Bookshop owner Fatma Somji said unclear textbook guidelines under the current curriculum have disrupted businesses, forcing traders to risk losses, while parents struggle to afford required learning materials amid a difficult economic climate.
Grade 10 books are so complicated. My brothers and sisters, we are totally confused, I will say. Just yesterday, another parent from another orphanage, she brought me a list. I'm telling you, there are such a diverse books, diverse aspect of books, and we are confused on which books are going to be totally purchased, coming with the loss that we have incurred last year, almost a 5 million loss. What about those bookshops who have bought almost like the zillions of books?
Doreen Mweni, a uniform trader, says the back-to-school rush has increased customer numbers, but soaring production costs and expensive raw materials have pushed uniform prices higher, squeezing suppliers and making it difficult to stock enough items for parents.
Tuko katika msimu wa back to school, and so far the turnout is not so bad, tunashukuru, but shida iko katika bei, wazazi wanalia sana, and the past business year has been very tough. Biashara imekuwa ngumu kabisa, stocking is a challenge, and you still have to provide. So upande huo tunaendelea kungangana, but times have been tough.
With the academic calendar beckoning, a spike in the cost of school essentials has left families and traders struggling, calling for urgent government support. Edna Nerea, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Edna Nerea, for that report. Now, the Ministry of Education has released key updates ahead of the reopening of schools for the 2026 academic year, announcing the disbursement of billions of shillings in capitation funds and issuing a final window for grade 10 placements reviews as preparations intensify nationwide. All basic education schools are set to open this Monday, the 5th of January. The government, through the Ministry of Education, affirming its commitment to free basic education, has simultaneously released over 44 billion shillings in Term 1 capitation. The funding is allocated for free primary, junior school, and day secondary schools. For the pioneer grade 10 class under the new curriculum, the first placement ended last month. However, a final review window is open from the 6th to the 9th of January. Parents and learners can apply for reconsideration through their junior school or senior school of interest, with request processed via the official placement portal. The Ministry of Education has also clarified that fee for senior schools remain unchanged, with the state providing an annual capitation of 22,244 Kenyan shillings per learner. School heads have been warned against imposing extra levies, with firm action promised for any misuse of funds. Grade 10 learners are expected to report to their respective senior schools starting from the 12th of January. And now to an update on the multi-story building under construction that collapsed in Nairobi South Sea area early on Friday morning, triggering frantic search and rescue operations amid fears that at least 2 people may still be trapped alive under the rubble. Now, emergency teams say the structure had previously been flagged for serious violations, raising renewed concerns over weak enforcement of building regulations and accountability within the construction sector. Now, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has called for patience as the multi-agency teams continue to race against time to complete the rescue operations under the collapsed building. And now in Mombasa, where a court has ordered the journalist Peter Maseke Mwita be detained for an additional 5 days as police seek more time to investigate allegations linked to the dissemination of information via WhatsApp. The arrest, which occurred on the 31st of December under unclear circumstances, has sparked debate around press freedom and due process.
Justice forward! Forward! Viva journalist! Viva! Viva!
The arrest of journalist Peter Maseke Mwita has continued to raise widespread concern after it was reported that he had responded to a police summons to record a statement regarding a message that had been circulating on WhatsApp containing allegations about criminal gang activities in the Kisauni area of Mombasa. According to investigations, Kisauni Member of Parliament Rashid Bedzimba expressed his concerns over the circulation of the message, citing the possibility that Mwita could be the author of the information. However, the prosecution requested more time to complete investigations, with the court ordering that the journalist remain in remand custody for a further 5 days.
A gentleman who is doing investigative journalism on a matter that has been a problem to people of Mombasa. Yes. As a civil society organizations, we have always called out the state for shooting these young boys and girls. And we've said that don't shoot them. Look at who is behind them, who is financing, who is the big figure behind them. Yes. Now, when a journalist is doing that sort of work, he's being held in cells of police. We think the gentleman is being intimidated.
The decision has drawn sharp criticism from media institutions and civil society organizations, which say Mwita's detention is a tactic to intimidate journalists engaged in investigative reporting. The Coast Region Coordinator at the Media Council of Kenya, Maureen Modi, said the council was saddened by what she termed as a lack of transparency and failure to follow due legal procedures.
As Media Council of Kenya, one thing is clear for us: we have to protect media freedom. Maseke is not a flight risk, so he is even known by the other magistrate who cast herself from the case. So there is no way he could escape from the country or even the county. So a bail was the most appropriate way to go for Maseke, because he has a family, he has children, he has responsibilities. He also has his media job to undertake.
Human rights organizations have also weighed in, warning that the case reflects a broader trend of shrinking civic space and press freedom. The executive director of Vocal Africa Human Lobby Group, Hussein Khalid, said journalists are increasingly being threatened for exposing criminal networks.
Vitengo vya wanahabari vinatishiwa na vinazuiliwa kutekeleza kazi yao. Tunataka tuseme hivi kwamba swala la uhalifu hapa Mombasa hatutalinyamazia. Haya magengi ambayo yanaendelea kuhatarisha maisha ya watu wa Mombasa, kuhatarisha maisha ya Wakenya kwa jumla, tutayavalia njuga, na wale wote ambao wanaunga mkono na kufadhili haya magengi, tunawaambia siku zenu.
Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Justice for Mwita!
Now, police in Kisii County have arrested several suspects following a surge in crime reported during the Christmas and New Year festivities. Authorities say cases of mugging, phone theft and assault were recorded, warning that law enforcement will take firm action against offenders while urging residents to remain vigilant.
Visa ambavyo vimefanyika katika huu wakati wa sherehe, tumekuwa na cases kama za mugging, watu kushikwa kwa njia na kupokonywa masimu. Tumekuwa na cases kama assaults. Tumekuwa na cases za hata wizi wa kawaida. Lakini kama nilivyotangulia kusema kwamba nyumba hii ambayo iko nyuma yangu hapa, wamejaa humo, ni wengi. Tukiongea naongea namba kubwa ya watu wenye makosa tofauti tofauti, ambao wote tumeweka hapa ndani. Ndio maana unakuta niko na hii team, processing inaendelea, na ikifika Jumatatu watu wale wote wapelekwe mahakamani. Mwaka huu wa 2026 cases za gender based violence, wamama kupiga wazee na wazee kupiga wamama.
All right, with that security report from Kisii County, we take our first break right here on the Weekend Live, the first of 2026. In a moment, we come back with more.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities.
All right, welcome back to the Weekend Live. Now, sadness and shock have engulfed Konza area along the Nairobi-Mombasa highway following a serious road accident involving a Tahmid bus and a passenger matatu that is reported to have occurred early this morning. The accident resulted in the deaths of 8 people, according to eyewitnesses. The matatu was attempting to overtake a lorry at a time when the Tahmid bus was approaching, a situation that caused the 2 vehicles to collide head-on. Police and emergency rescue teams arrived promptly at the scene of the accident, helping to transport survivors to hospital and temporarily closing the highway. The bodies of those who lost their lives have been preserved at the Machakos Level 5 Hospital, awaiting identification by their respective families. Now, leaders of the United Democratic Alliance in Kirinyaga County have dismissed claims that the party is losing ground in the Mount Kenya region, insisting that it remains politically strong and well organized ahead of the 2027 general elections. The leaders say preparations are underway for the party's grassroots elections slated for the 10th of January.
UDA leaders in Kirinyaga County say they are undertaking a major reforms aimed at restoring the party's top political standing in the Mount Kenya region.
Led by Kirinyaga Central MP Gachogi Gitari, the leaders say the party is undergoing a reorganization process that includes leadership changes, the adoption of a new party constitution, and the strengthening of grassroots leadership structures.
Impressed by the impressive turnout. Watu wa Kirinyaga wamekubali tukae UDA na tutakwamia hapo, na hata tuliona UDA is the most popular party in Kenya. So tutaendelea kushikilia Rais Ruto.
Gitari strongly dismissed claims that UDA has lost its popularity, stating that the party still has deep roots among the people of Kirinyaga. He said the grassroots elections slated for January 10 will be a key pillar in building a strong party foundation from polling station to wards, constituencies and the county level.
Watu tumenominate watu kadhaa, ni watu washindane na wale watashinda ndio watakuwa officials wa UDA. Sisi tuko imara kwa UDA, and I can assure you those people who are going around, especially in Kirinyaga, talking of one term, those are the guys who will make one-term MPs.
The MP also warned rival parties, saying UDA is ready to give them stiff competition ahead of the 2027 general election. He emphasized that the Kenya Kwanza government has delivered on many of its promises to the people of Kirinyaga. He further made it clear that the party is not threatened by the new political parties linked to the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Naweza kuwa hawaongeangi sana watu wa Kirinyaga, lakini wanajua mahali ambapo wanafaa kukua. Kama leo mmeona tumekuwa na watu wa kutoka grassroots na walikuwa wametoka pande zote za Kirinyaga. Na leo mmeona wamesema mambo ni two-term na wataendeleza na tutafanya uchaguzi mwema hiyo tarehe 10 mwezi wa Januari.
On her part, Kirinyaga County Deputy Majority Leader Lucy Njeri said UDA still has a strong grassroots following and is fully prepared to compete in elections. The leaders assured party members that the grassroots elections will be free and fair, noting that an electronic voting system will be used to ensure transparency and prevent violence. Akida Kasim, KUTV.
And on the other side of the political divide, DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua has intensified opposition pressure against the Kenya Kwanza administration, openly accusing President William Ruto of using divide and rule tactics to retain power, particularly in the central region. Speaking during the burial of Alice Wangari Gakuya, the mother of Embakasi North Member of Parliament James Gakuya in Murang'a County, Gachagua claimed the president was recycling a Moi-era playbook to fragment communities for political survival.
Political temperatures are rising as DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua escalates pressure against the Kenya Kwanza government.
Sasa amejua hii mlima imemalizana na yeye. There are two decisions that have been made here. One decision, watu wameamua ni nani hata kuwa rais. Kweli ama uongo? Sio imeamuriwa? Ni nani bado, lakini ni nani hata kuwa imeamuriwa. So anasema hii kura ya mlima kwa sababu ndio ilimfanya akuwe rais.
Speaking during the burial of Alice Wangari Gakuya, the mother of Embakasi North MP James Gakuya in Murang'a County, Gachagua claimed the president was deliberately fragmenting the central region.
Sisi tutakuwa na one candidate wa kupigana na Kasongo. Ngaza kiongozi saa hii atahangaishwa sana na Kasongo. Katiguo. Hatuwezi sisi hapana wajinga. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba mrelax. Nimeona watu wakinipigia simu, upinzani imesambaratika. Upinzani imesambaratika namna gani? Upinzani ni nyinyi. Nyinyi mnangoja tu kiongozi. Wacha tuude chama mwaka huu ya 2026.
In a significant political overture, Gachagua formally invited the Orange Democratic Movement to join a joint opposition front, stating that any opposition leader will be eligible to fly the coalition flag.
Kizikizana is our other cousin, Fred Matiang'i. Kura yetu yote itaenda wapi? Tukizikizana ni George inatembea. Kura yetu itaenda wapi? Hata hii mzee anaitwa Oburu nimesikia anataka. Si amesema anataka? Sasa Bwana Sifuna ambia hiyo mzee akuja ongea na sisi. Tukisikizana ni mzee Oburu, kura yetu yote inaenda wapi? Ile mtu hawezi pata kura yetu hata moja nikaso.
Deputy President wa pili wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Mimi unajua nilikuwa rafiki yako. Na niye hakoa. Jarie hakoa. Mimi ukumiss.
Any person can build a road. Anybody can build a house. Dictators build roads, dictators build houses. It takes a true patriot with values to build a nation. What we are trying to build is a nation. I'm telling you. Mtu ambaye anaheshimu demokrasia bado anaweza kujenga barabara. Mtu ambaye haui vijana bado anaweza kujenga barabara. Kwa nini mna insist huyu mtu ambaye anaua watu?
ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, also present at the event, marked a firm stand against the state, vowing that ODM will not support policies he says are hurting Kenyans.
Ndani ya ODM tunaamini kile kitu baba alituambia. Hakuna siku baba alituambia tuunge mkono William Ruto 2027. Hakuna. Na kwa sababu watu wamekuwa wakisema ile vitu baba aliwaambia. Hii mwaka hata mimi nataka kusema ile vitu baba aliniambia. Baba aliniambia Kasongo 2027 home.
Sifuna's position has aligned ODM legislators with a broader anti-government front, even as party chairperson Oburu Odinga has urged cooperation within the government.
Pesa nyingi ambayo tulifanyia campaign ilikuwa inatoka kwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Alitusupport kihali na mali, ni ukweli. Lakini sasa si sahi. Kuna mshenzi mmoja ametambua kwamba kuna ubaya ya pesa ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Nataka niulize Junet. Wewe Junet, pesa ya Uhuru ilianza kuwa mbaya siku gani?
Manake akituambia Singapore, hiyo si ndoto. Hizo ni ndoto za kuogofya.
As Gachagua rolls out plans to popularize the DCP party nationwide, political battle lines are fast taking shape, signaling an early and intense tussle for power ahead of the 2027 general election. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Now, Murang'a County has rolled out a pilot digital system to distribute certified maize seeds and fertilizer under the Inua Mkulima program, targeting over 135,000 farmers in the county. Now, officials within the county say the new system enhances transparency, cuts long queues, and allows farmers to access inputs within their local communities.
Going forward, hata ile mahindi tunapeana kwa wakulima, mahindi na fertilizer, na tulikuwa tunapeleka kwenye pooling stations, kwenye primary school. Going forward, tutaanza kupeana through that automation.
Naweza sema tulipokea unga na ilikuwa bei mzuri, ilikuwa poa. Leo tumeamkia kula pancake na haikuwa mbaya. Tunashukuru sana
na automation. In other words, nasema saa hii Murang'a tuko over 80% automation, na kama unataka kununua kitu ama kufanya kitu unaweza fanyia the comfort of your house. Kwa hivyo tukaona Russia but one tukua tunapeana chakula, tunagua tunaenda kwa uwanja, tunaenda na lori, watu wanakuja tunawapea chakula. Sasa tukajiuliza kama hii maneno ingine tumesucceed kupeana huduma through automation, hata hii chakula tunaweza.
Now, elsewhere, traditional herbalists have petitioned Parliament to fast-track the passage of the Tradition, Land and Alternative Medicine Bill, warning that indigenous knowledge is at risk of extinction. Now, the group says the Constitution guarantees the protection of traditional medicine, while urging county governments to allocate land for the conservation of medicinal plants.
One thing that I would want to emphasize is the element of taking care of our environment. Most of this herbal medicine come from our environment. And then you find that we have really degraded our soils, we have degraded our forests, we have degraded our indigenous trees, the small herbs that used to grow, until you find that now the environment has evolved into something that is totally different, totally new, and which is full of chemicals within it. My cry today is for all herbalists, for all kisses, for any interest partner to join in for us to conserve our environment, to create an environment whereby these herbs can thrive, and in essence, at the end of the day, when they are harvested and prepared, they are going to be effective.
We are saying, with the current constitution, 2010, we at the culture level, we are allowed to learn from our old people, because our indigenous knowledge is disappearing.
All right, and with that call for indigenous knowledge conservation, we take our second break right here on the Weekend Live. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Wa jamii kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii, kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele.
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila woga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Welcome back. Now, members of Little Theatre Club in Mombasa are protesting an alleged plan by Kenya Railways to evict them and repurpose the historic theatre into a learning institution. Artists say the move threatens the gazetted national monument that has anchored performing arts at the coast for decades.
Dear members of the press, the Literature Club of Mombasa has been in existence since 1948, and founded by the demolished Second World War veterans seeking to establish a permanent home for the theatre, musicals, and other performing arts.
I want to state this, that we are not fighting the Kenya Railways. We're not fighting them. In fact, the issue of having an institute, a railway training institute in the coast, is very important. It's very important for growth. But the only question we are asking, must it be here at the Little Theatre Club? Is it that there is no other land, no other space that an institute can be built aside from the theatre?
The Little Theatre Club is the only public auditorium we have in Mombasa. Yes. Alafu sasa mwataka tuigawanye kidogo tupatiane kidogo. That's totally unacceptable. The conversation and what we are also appealing to the president, whose agenda is the creative economy, and our governor as well, who has a big agenda on the strengthening the creative economy, is to strengthen this space.
Now, the Kenya Wildlife Service has announced the death of Craig, the legendary super tusker elephant of Amboseli National Park. Craig died early on Saturday morning at the age of 54 years. KWS says Craig was one of Africa's last remaining super tuskers, a rare class of bull elephants whose tusks weigh more than 45 kilograms each. He was widely admired for his calm nature and ground-sweeping tasks, making him a symbol of Kenya's rich wildlife heritage. KWS revealed that Craig sired several calves, ensuring his genetic legacy lives on. The agency attributed his long life to decades of dedicated protection, anti-poaching efforts, habitat conservation, and strong collaboration with local communities and conservation partners. All right, rest easy, Craig. And now to a matter hitting the international borderlines. United States President Donald Trump claims Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured following what Washington calls a major military and a law enforcement operation. Now, the announcement follows the overnight air and missile strikes in Venezuela, triggering a nationwide state of emergency and raising fears of a deepening international crisis. Now, so far, the U.S. president has noted that the U.S. will run Venezuela until such a time when a proper and safe judicious transition can happen, as well as noting that U.S. oil companies will be fixing Venezuela's broken infrastructure and start making money for the country. All right, we are gliding into the sporting arena where the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations round of 16 kicks off today in Morocco with high stakes and drama. Host Senegal face Sudan in Tangier this afternoon, while Mali clash with Tunisia in Casablanca tonight as the knockout phase begins. These matches mark the transition from group battles to win or go home football in the continent's premier tournament. Heavyweights like Morocco, Egypt, Nigeria, and Algeria await their return later in the week. With the quarter-final spots on the line, fans expect intensity, upsets, and standout performances as Africa's best chase continental glory. All right, and as matters would have them at this moment, we have the reports that Senegal has been able to upset Sudan 3-0. Well, that's what is panning out within the African Cup of Nations. And of course, it's that time to wrap it up for the weekend live. Of course, a big thank you to the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast. Of course, with my director, Martin Mutegi, and by his side, Lewis Nomoto, ensuring everything is moving with speed and as it should. A big thank you to the whole team involved, and also for you at home for choosing KUTV to be your informer. Tonight, we continue to give you the best through the year. My name is Emanuel Kutosi, and with me in the sign language interpretation, doing quite a proper job, is Mutava Mwongeli. From us, it's good night. Have a lovely weekend. Till we meet again.
Are you ready to take charge of your health? Welcome to Focus on Health, your weekly guide to staying informed and living better. Join me every week as I sit down with trusted medical experts.
Gynecology is basically a field concerned with mainly the female genitalia.
Explore real-life stories
during when the patient come in
and bring you updates and tips that are beneficial to your health. Because health isn't just important, it is everything. Tune in to Focus on Health every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. I'm your host, Kandia Marian, and I'll see you then.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.